Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. We start in the village of Addison. The village's clerk has been arrested for allegedly stealing more than $1 million from the village. Our Sonia Ellison has the latest.
Former Village of Addison clerk and treasurer Ursula Stone is accused of stealing over $1 million of taxpayer money over 19 years. Stone pled not guilty and was taken to Steuben County Jail after her arrest by state police. Most Addison residents were tight-lipped about the case, saying they either knew Stone or had a conflict of interest.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Stone was charged with grand larceny in the first degree, which is a felony. She's also charged with money laundering, public corruption, corrupting the government, as well as 185 counts of falsifying business records.
I don't know how in a village like this someone should have discovered this a long time ago.
At a news conference, Steuben County District Attorney Brooks Baker said Stone used an elaborate and complex scheme to embezzle money, filing false documents to hide the thefts.
This is a classic example of when boards are lazy and they don't perform fiscal oversight, things like this can happen.
Many agree the crime happened as a result of failed checks and balances.
I believe there was no oversight.
Prosecutors call the stolen money a huge deal for the small town of Addison, adding the money would have funded the village police department for over 4 years.
When you're short all that money every year, then you got to raise taxes.
Many locals believe this discovery is just the beginning.
I don't believe that the investigation should be over. I believe that there's a lot more to this story, both people past and present, as well as what we do know. So I hope they further that.
The Village of Addison issued a statement saying, quote, "We have no comment on the audit or press conference. However, we have put policies and procedures into place that will hopefully prevent this from ever happening again." The DA says so far investigators have not found the stolen money.
Well, I don't know if they're going to be able to recap the money or not. It's probably all been spent.
But DA Baker says if Stone is convicted, his office would seek restitution to replace the stolen funds. Sonia Ellison, Big Fox News, Addison.
Classes are back in session for Wayland Cohocton students today after a student received a threat on Snapchat. The Wayland Cohocton student received the picture message of a gun with the warning, "Don't come to school tomorrow." The student showed it to a friend and their parents, who reported it to the sheriff's office. A teen from Wisconsin, said to be behind the threat, has been arrested. Steuben County Sheriff Jim Allard says the student doesn't know the person that sent the message. Allard says a student in Wisconsin also received a similar threat, and that school also canceled classes where the suspect attends. Big Fox will keep you updated on this story as more details emerge in the case. Reporters inside the courtroom say FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried seemed emotionless after he received guilty verdict after guilty verdict. It took a New York City jury a little over 4 hours to convict the cryptocurrency company founder of fraud and conspiracy that squandered billions from his customers. Gary Baumgarten has the story.
Sam Bankman-Fried perpetrated one of the biggest financial frauds in American history.
In a move that could put him in prison for the rest of his life, a New York City jury ruled FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried is guilty of all 7 counts of fraud and conspiracy, convicting the head of the cryptocurrency company Thursday night of defrauding customers and investors of billions of dollars for personal gain.
Prosecutors say he took about $10 billion, used it to make lavish donations, buy real estate, investments of his own, and to make contributions to political candidates.
Before going bankrupt last year, FTX was surging in popularity, once becoming the second largest crypto exchange in the world.
Sam Bankman-Fried testified over 4 days. He insisted that he didn't really know that his companies were in so much trouble and had taken out billions of dollars that they couldn't account for.
After the verdict, Fried's attorney releasing this statement saying, quote, "We respect the jury's decision, but we are very disappointed with the result. Mr. Bankman-Fried maintains his innocence and will continue to vigorously fight the charges against him."
Every single fraudster out there who thinks that they're untouchable, those folks should think again.
Bankman-Fried is expected to appear in court for sentencing on March 28th. He could face up to 110 years in prison. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
The latest jobs report paints the picture of a labor market that remains resilient despite economic uncertainties and high interest rates. President Biden is welcoming the report as signs his Bidenomics plan is working, as he welcomes leaders from the Western Hemisphere to the White House for a first-of-its-kind economic prosperity summit. Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
Employers pulling back on hiring. The economy adding 150,000 jobs last month compared to September's 297,000. In this latest report, September's number was revised from 336,000.
Can I just say this ridiculous every month?
Yeah.
Can we get this data together?
Unemployment is at 3.9%, 0.1% higher than September.
This is a sign of a cooling labor force.
Economists are saying the United Auto Workers strikes against the big three auto companies were partly to blame for the slump.
The strike activity accounted for 33,000 jobs lost.
But those strikes ended this week with tentative settlements in which the companies granted significantly better pay and benefits to the union's workers.
The job market is still fairly strong out there. There are jobs out there. I'm not crying Armageddon here, but I do think that those rising interest rates are really starting to bite right now.
Some economists complaining about the source of the hiring, with government creating the most jobs.
We need the jobs in manufacturing and construction and housing, in business services.
But President Biden welcoming these reports as a sign Bidenomics is working. Taking a victory lap Friday with a business summit at the White House.
This is an example of what we can deliver when we work together.
The Fed decided this week to keep interest rates the same. Those rates are at a 22-year high as inflation remains nearly double the target. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Eric Trump finishes his testimony and is considering coming back to court next week. The Trump son testified Thursday and Friday in the civil fraud trial brought against the Trump Organization by New York State Attorney General Letitia James. He says he's hoping justice will prevail in the end.
We've done absolutely nothing wrong. We have a better company than they could have ever imagined. And this is a big charade that's a huge waste of taxpayer money. And it's the very reason everybody's moving out of New York State, and I was actually one of them. It's sad, it shouldn't happen. I love this state. This state is absolutely going to hell. And it's because of people like the Attorney General of New York.
Former President Donald Trump and his daughter are expected to testify next week. We'll have your weekend forecast next. Plus,
a federal ruling in the real estate market could be a game changer in how people buy and sell homes. And it's all about the commission. I'm Jerry Willis with Fox Business. Details ahead.
Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Good evening and happy Friday. We did have times of some beautiful sunshine today, but by the end of the day, we did see some increasing cloud cover. However, as we head into the weekend, it is going to be pretty pleasant, but that mixed sunshine is what's going to be really our biggest concern. Overall, what we're noting is that there is some unsettled weather working its way into the region, but it's not directly overhead, but we're within proximity. So that's going to at least give us some times of some switching winds, though temperatures are going to stay steady, and we're going to stay on the drier side, working in sometimes with some sunshine, but can't rule out also some overcast conditions. But you'll want to get out and enjoy what will be a pleasant weekend, as when we roll into next week, we are going to turn unsettled as we're going to see some stronger systems sweep their way in, which is going to bring some rainy and windy weather, also going to lead to some slight cooling by the end of the week. So first off, as we roll into our Saturday, as mentioned, there is more of an active weather pattern sliding in, but it's not a strong pattern. As we'll note, you see some rain showers along a system that's just off to the north, hugging those lake areas. As that drops in, it might be able to shake out a sprinkle or two through the Finger Lakes, might see a sprinkle through the local region, but for the most part, largely staying dry. And then as we roll into Sunday, there's some better chances at some pockets of some clearing around. So again, it's going to be mixed sunshine, not going to promise blue skies all weekend, but also not going to promise that we're going to stay dry all weekend as well. But it's not going to be a washout. Even when we look at the potential accumulation, the models are not showing too much, where they're giving a few few hundredths of an inch here and there. So even if you have some outdoor plans, they should be a-okay to get outdoors. You're just going to want to make sure that you have on hand some sunglasses, but also maybe some layers, because underneath some of those gray clouds, there still will be a little bit of a chill, but we're going to note that we still have some potential of keeping those temperatures mild, as we'll hold on to a low 42 degrees and then head up to a high of the upper 50s, even looking at the potential of touching those 60s for a high. So trending just around normal for this time of the year. But again, this time of the year, especially once we start to have some cooler air masses move in, those cloudier skies can add a chill to the air. So Saturday is looking to be the day that's going to struggle to see the sunshine the most, and you might experience a sprinkle or two. But as we head into Sunday, this is looking to potentially be the drier day that could be in place, but still going to have at least some mixed cloud cover. But cloud cover keeps us pretty mild overnight, only a low 41 in the Elmira Corning area. And we head into Sunday with still those mild temperatures, upper 40s to mid 50s. There you can see some better promise of seeing some sunshine all the way down there, Westfield, Mansfield, Watkins Glen there, 51 degrees. Now, as we head into Monday, generally holding quiet, but we'll start to see that active weather pattern slide in. So we can keep temperatures pretty steady through Tuesday, but Tuesday looks to be a stronger cold front to slide in, which is going to trigger some better rain chances around. Right now, not looking like a washout, but we'll keep an eye on any adjustments. But then the cold front will gradually bring us some cooling, which will continue to keep us under some rain chances at least through the end of the week.